We live in a world where we're constantly connected. Our smartphones have become indispensable tools, seamlessly integrating into every aspect of our daily lives. Whether we're commuting, working, or relaxing, our phones are always within reach. Our phones have become extensions of ourselves, checking notifications, scrolling through social media, responding to messages. We rely on them for everything from staying in touch with loved ones to keeping up with the latest news and trends. It's almost as if our phones have become a part of our identity, but what happens when you suddenly disconnect? Imagine a world where you are not constantly bombarded by notifications, where you are not tethered to a screen. What would you do with all that extra time and mental space? No phone, no notifications, no digital distractions for an entire week. Could you do it? Could you resist the urge to check your phone every few minutes? Could you find joy and fulfillment in activities that don't involve a screen? I decided to give it a try, and what I learned surprised me in ways I never expected. I found myself rediscovering old hobbies, engaging in deeper conversations, and experiencing moments of genuine connection and mindfulness. This week without my phone changed the way I see technology. It made me realize how much of my time and attention was being consumed by my device and how liberating it felt to take a break from it all. And it might just change your perspective too. By stepping away from our screens, we can reconnect with the world around us and find a sense of balance and peace that is often missing in our fast-paced digital lives. The first day was the hardest. It was a day filled with unexpected challenges and a sense of unease that I hadn't anticipated. The moment I woke up, my hand instinctively reached for my phone, but it wasn't there. It was a habit so ingrained that I didn't even think about it. I felt a strange sense of loss, like something vital was missing. It was as if a part of my daily routine had been abruptly taken away. Without my phone, I couldn't check the time, scroll through my emails, or see what was happening in the world. It was disorienting, like being cut off from the pulse of life. It was uncomfortable. I felt cut off from everything. My friends, the news, even the mindless distractions that filled the gaps in my day. The silence was deafening. As the day went on, I started to notice how often I reached for my phone without thinking. It was a constant, almost unconscious action. It was almost automatic, a habit I didn't even realize I had. Each time my hand came up empty, it was a stark reminder of how dependent I had become. Standing in line at the coffee shop, reach for the phone. It was my go-to move to pass the time, to avoid the awkwardness of standing idle, waiting for a meeting to start. Check notifications. It was a way to feel productive, to stay connected, even if just for a few moments. It was like a reflex. And without my phone, I felt restless, unsure of how to fill the empty moments. The minutes seemed to stretch on endlessly. I tried to read a book, but my mind kept wandering. I attempted to engage in hobbies, but nothing seemed to hold my interest for long. I kept glancing at the clock, counting down the hours. Surprisingly, the absence of my phone led to more face-to-face interactions. I found myself talking to people more, engaging in conversations that I would have otherwise missed. I took a walk outside, something I hadn't done in a while. The world seemed more vibrant, the colors more vivid. I noticed things I had overlooked before. By the end of the day, I felt a mix of emotions. There was still a sense of loss, but also a newfound appreciation for the simple things. It was a day of rediscovery, of learning to be present in the moment. The first day was the hardest, but it was also the beginning of something new. A journey towards a more mindful, connected way of living, and for that I was grateful. But by the second day, something started to shift. Without the constant need to check my phone, I found myself more present. I began noticing the world around me, the colors of the sky, the way the sunlight filtered through the trees, the sounds of conversations happening nearby. It was as if my senses had been dulled by the screen and now they were coming alive again. I felt more engaged with the world, more connected to the present moment. By the third day, I realized just how much time I was reclaiming. It was as if I had been given a gift, a precious gift of time that I had forgotten existed. Without my phone, I had hours that I didn't know what to do with. Hours that used to be filled with mindless scrolling and endless notifications. At first, it was unsettling. I felt lost, unsure of how to fill the void. The constant urge to check my phone was like a phantom limb, always there, always itching. But then I started filling that time with things I hadn't done in ages. I read books, went for walks, tried out new hobbies. I even started journaling, something I hadn't done in years. I picked up a paintbrush and let my creativity flow. I dusted off my old guitar and played tunes that brought back memories. Journaling became a daily ritual, a way to process my thoughts and emotions. It was like meeting an old friend, one I had neglected for far too long. The absence of my phone created space for creativity, for reflection, and for moments of quiet that I hadn't realized I needed. I found myself sketching, meditating, and simply sitting in silence, appreciating the world around me. These moments of quiet became the most cherished parts of my day. They allowed me to reconnect with myself, to find peace in the stillness, and to truly reclaim my time. One of the biggest changes I noticed was in my relationships. Without my phone, I was more present with the people around me. I had deeper conversations with friends and family because I wasn't distracted by texts or social media. I was fully there, listening, engaging, and connecting in a way that felt more meaningful. It made me realize how much my phone had been getting in the way of real human connection. By the end of the week, I felt lighter, freer. I wasn't constantly tethered to a device, and it was liberating. I realized that I didn't need to be constantly connected to feel connected. In fact, the opposite was true. The more I disconnected from my phone, the more connected I felt to the world and the people around me. This week without my phone taught me a lot about my relationship with technology. It showed me how much of my time and attention was being consumed by a device that, while useful, wasn't as essential as I had thought. It gave me a new appreciation for the quiet moments, for the space to think, to breathe, to be present, and it made me more mindful of how I use my phone going forward. So could you live without your phone for a week? I challenge you to try it. It might just change the way you see the world. If you found this experiment eye-opening, hit that like button, share this video with someone who's glued to their phone, and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. Disconnect to reconnect. It might just be the change you need.